Xbox has blessed us with another huge sale for the end of February, and it's known as the Hits You Can't Miss sale. This includes a ton of AAA titles, many of which have never been on sale before or rarely ever go on sale. So definitely stay tuned to find out my highlight of this week. As always, I do provide a free game giveaway every single week as part of this series. All you have to do is subscribe and comment below. Usually it's all about what you're playing on Xbox this week, but I would be really interested to hear what games you're looking forward to. Congratulations to last week's winner. It's great to hear that you're enjoying Scars Above, and I'm glad these sales videos have helped you find those hidden gems. Just hit me up on our awesome Discord server and I'll get that game right over to you. So with that out of the way, my name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive into the awesome sales for this week. Cue the adventure music because indie is officially back. This was one of the most anticipated Xbox exclusives of 2024 and has since become a fan favourite for very big reason. Developed by Machine Games, which were the same folks behind Wolfenstein, this game actually brings the full cinematic experience of an Indiana Jones adventure, packed with tons of treasure hunts, Nazi punching, and mind-blowing set pieces. The attention to detail really in this game is absolutely insane, from the cracking whip mechanics to the historically rich settings. Honestly, I still can't get over the Vatican and the Himalayas. The scenery in this game is utterly jaw-dropping and the action is incredible. Gameplay-wise though, the Great Circle does blend puzzle solving, exploration, and action-packed sequences, reminiscent of games like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, but in a first-person perspective. If you love adventure games that make you feel like you're in the middle of a classic 80s blockbuster, then this one is an absolute must play. This is actually the first time it's ever been discounted, so now's your chance to grab it at 20% off this week. Who loves a fatality? Well, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition is back on sale, and this time it's at an absolutely ridiculous 85% off. We're talking less than £8 for the full Ultimate Edition. That means you're getting every single DLC fighter, including guest stars like Rambo, Terminator, and even RoboCop, plus the full expansion story known as Aftermath. MK11 isn't just about nostalgia, it's one of the deepest and most balanced fighting games in this series. The story mode is surprisingly cinematic here, packed with wild time travel shenanigans and some of the best character interactions in the entire franchise. For competitive players out there, the online mode is still going pretty strong to this day, and the crit mode also lets you unlock tons of extra content. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate really is the definitive version of one of the best fighting games ever made, and at this price point, it's practically a steal. If you're into fighters or just love brutally over-the-top action, you can grab it while you can at this great price we don't see often. Alright, let's talk about an absolute masterpiece and easily one of my personal favourite games of the last generation. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the open world experience of a lifetime. You will play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw trying to survive in a rapidly changing world, and let me tell you, few games have ever delivered this level of storytelling, immersion, and just sheer beauty. This game isn't just a shooter or an action game, it's actually a living, breathing world. You can hunt anything, you can also fish, rob trains, play poker, and even have full-on conversation with NPCs that feel more lifelike than any other game. The attention to detail is just simply mind-blowing. Horses get muddy and will need grooming, your beard actually grows over time, and different regions have unique weather systems. Yes, you can still hog-tie a person and dump them down on a train track if you really wanted to, but you didn't hear that from me. This week actually sees the game discounted by 80%, and believe it or not, after doing my research, this is the best price it has ever been. Usually the game is discounted to around £20, and this has been the case for over 3 years, so this is well worth purchasing at its lowest price ever before. Now, instead if you're looking for a hidden gem today, Necromunda Hired Gun is the definition of that fact. This fast-paced FPS throws you into the grimy, brutal underworld of Warhammer 40,000's Necromunda, where you play as a ruthless bounty hunter taking on mutants, gang leaders, and crime lords. It's got some pretty cool Doom-style gunplay, cyberpunk-esque atmosphere, oh, and you also get a cybernetic dog companion that literally mauls enemies for you. The movement is incredibly fast-paced here, with lots of wall running, grappling hooks, and brutal melee attacks that make the combat feel absolutely relentless. While the game did have a bit of a rough launch with some bugs and performance issues, it has received several updates, now making it so much smoother to play and well worth picking up. If you love shooters that emphasize that sort of pure action and adrenaline and don't hold your hand, then this is one that's absolutely worth picking up, especially for just £6.59. Get ready to unleash your inner theme park tycoon in Planet Coaster 2. This is actually the first time that the game has been discounted, and if you're a fan of creative simulation games, this is one of the must-haves out there. The sequel builds on everything that made the first game so great, offering even more customization, of course better graphics, and new ride mechanics that make your park come to life like never before. One of the coolest additions this time around though was the dynamic weather system, which actually means you'll need to plan your attractions around rain, storms, and even seasonal events. Plus, the improved AI makes guest reactions feel even more realistic. New coaster types, enhanced park management tools, and a greater variety of scenery make this a must-play for fans of the genre. If you love games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and enjoy meticulously crafting the perfect theme park, then Planet Coaster 2 really is a dream come true. Don't miss out on this 20% discount this week, as we rarely see these sorts of games discounted often. The Arkham series is widely regarded as one of the greatest superhero game franchises ever made, and for just £7.50 this week, you get Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and also Arkham Knight. That's 3 legendary Batman games for the price of a coffee, and honestly, these are some of my favourite games of all time. The Arkham collection delivers an incredible blend of storytelling, stealth, and fluid combat that really does still hold up today. You'll take on Gotham's deadliest villains, solve some pretty cool detective puzzles, and of course, glide through the city as the Dark Knight. Each game really does improve on the last though, with Arkham Knight introducing the Batmobile for explosive chase sequences and high-tech combat. The free-flowing combat system still remains one of the most satisfying in gaming history, and the boss battles are absolutely legendary. Being able to chain together a combo of multiple punches and dodges still feels so incredible to this day, and no other game has nailed this excellent and addictive gameplay loop. If you've never played these games before, or if you just want to relive the magic of them, this is an absolute steal at 85% off. The Yakuza franchise took a very bold new direction with Like a Dragon, shifting from its brawler-style combat to a full-on turn-based RPG mechanics, and the results were absolutely phenomenal. In this game, you play as Ichiban Kazuga, a down-on-his-luck Yakuza who forms a ragtag party of misfits to take on corruption, crime, and, well, some pretty wild side quests. This legendary hero edition also includes extra DLC content, new costumes, and additional job classes, making it the most complete version of this experience. The RPG mechanics here are very deep, with tons of dynamic turn-based combat that lets you use your environment to your advantage. The story is very gripping, filled with tons of humor, emotion, and just unforgettable characters. There are dozens of side activities for you to also get lost in, from karaoke, business management, arcades, and even classic Sega games to play within the game. If you love over-the-top action, heartfelt storytelling, and a touch of just absolute insanity, then Yakuza Like a Dragon is a must-play, and this is the lowest price that it's ever been. Now, here's a game that deserves your attention, and it was released less than a year ago. The Plucky Squire is one of the most charming indie games in recent years, blending that 2D and 3D gameplay in a way that feels like pure magic. In this game, you play as Jot, a tiny squire who lives inside of a storybook, but when he's thrown into the real world, he must navigate through both dimensions to save his friends. The transitions between the 2D and 3D environments are really seamless and incredibly creative, and the game constantly surprises you with brand new mechanics. You can expect inventive puzzles, fast-paced platforming, and a heartwarming story that really does stick with you long after you finished it. The art direction here is just absolutely stunning and breathtaking, blending hand-drawn aesthetics with a beautifully rendered world. Since this is only the second time that it's ever been on sale, this is a great opportunity to grab a unique and delightful adventure at a steep discount. It may not be the largest discount on this list, but it's still a great grab nonetheless. Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding is one of the most divisive yet fascinating games in recent years. Seeing the game come across the Xbox last year for the very first time was a massive highlight, and it's an experience that I highly recommend that you pick up and play. Whether you see it as a meditative journey across a desolate landscape or just a glorified package delivery simulator, there's no denying it offers something completely different from just anything else out there. The director's cut version of this game actually adds new missions, vehicles, weapons, and even a racing mode, making it the ultimate version for you. The world is hauntingly beautiful, with an eerie atmosphere heightened by the incredible soundtrack featuring artists like Low Roar. With stunning visuals, an all-star cast, and one of the most unique online mechanics in all of gaming, this is a title that deserves a spot in your Xbox library. If you've ever been curious about Death Stranding, this is the best way to experience it. The game does often go on discount to about 50% off, but I couldn't miss mentioning this absolutely phenomenal and unique experience. Now, I have mentioned this next game before in these sort of videos, but we have seen a big drop in price for this week. You can step into the steel boots of Detroit's legendary law enforcer in RoboCop Rogue City, a first-person shooter that perfectly captures the 80s cyberpunk action of the iconic films. This game lets you patrol the crime-ridden streets of Detroit, taking down gangsters, corrupt officials, and high-tech threats with RoboCop's signature Auto 9 pistol. What makes Rogue City so special though is its faithful recreation of RoboCop's slow, methodical movement, blending heavy firepower with a sense of unstoppable force. The game's crime investigation mechanics really add depth beyond just shooting bad guys, allowing you to choose whether to handle situations by brute force or using your detective work. Also, let's not forget about Peter Weller himself, as he reprises his role, making an absolute must-play for fans of this franchise. As I mentioned, this is the lowest price since launch and better than past discounts, so you can grab it now for a low price of £16.49p. Have you ever wanted to explore the Star Wars underworld? Well, Star Wars Outlaws finally gives players the chance to step into the role of Kay Vess, a charming rogue navigating the galaxy's criminal underbelly. Developed by Ubisoft, this open-world adventure blends Assassin's Creed-style stealth, Far Cry-like exploration, and just full-blown space dogfights. Now, the game did have a massively mixed reception at launch, and for very good reason. Personally, I actually really enjoyed my time with Outlaws. It may not be the best game by any means, but the world design and Star Wars lore is pretty awesome, and I did give it a 7 out of 10 in my review last year. I think if you've been on the fence about this one, it's well worth grabbing this gold edition, as it's heavily discounted and the game has seen a massive amount of updates and overhauls in the past few months. The Gold Edition does include the extra season pass, offering extra story content, exclusive missions, and also cosmetic bonuses that expand your experience in the Outer Rim. With breathtaking planets for you to explore, some pretty cool speeder chases, and tense shootouts, Star Wars Outlaws is a dream come true for fans who love the grittier side of the Star Wars universe. At 50% off, this is the cheapest it has ever been, so if you want to experience an Outlaw's life in a galaxy far, far away, now's your chance. If you do want to check out my review of Star Wars Outlaws, I have linked it down below and with the card on screen now. From the minds behind Life is Strange comes Banishers Ghost of New Eden, a supernatural action RPG that blends deep storytelling with intense combat. You will play as Red and Antea, two ghost hunting lovers torn apart by a tragedy. One of them is now a spirit, and the other one is still alive. The game explores themes of loss, sacrifice, and redemption, letting you make moral choices that determine the fate of the living and the dead. It has such a gorgeous and hauntingly beautiful world for you to explore, and I loved every single minute when playing throughout this experience. Banishers offers a unique mix though of melee and spectral abilities, allowing you to switch between Red and Antea in combat, with it being very reminiscent of the combat within the God of War series. It is an emotional journey with gripping characters, and the branching narrative choices ensure that multiple playthroughs are rewarding. At just £25 this week, with this 50% off deal makes it such an excellent pick for fans of story-driven RPGs. If you love ones with a supernatural twist, I really couldn't recommend it enough, especially as it's so highly underrated. The Like a Dragon series really does keep raising the bar, and Infinite Wealth might just be its most ambitious entry yet. I know many of you have been waiting for this game to go on sale, and now is the best time to finally grab it. Following the adventures of Ichiban Kazuga and the legendary Kazuma Kiryu, this RPG takes players from the streets of Japan to the sunny beaches of Hawaii in a sprawling, hilarious, and emotional adventure. The game does build upon the Like a Dragon's signature turn-based combat, but with new job classes, dynamic team-up attacks, and even Pokemon-style creature battles. The sheer variety of activities, from surfing, managing a business empire, running a cabaret club, and even full-blown dating sim mechanics, this is one of the most content-rich RPGs out on the market. Also, let's not forget the heartfelt cinematic story that will have you laughing one moment and tearing up the next. With Infinite Wealth rarely getting any discounts, this 50% off deal is a golden opportunity to grab this game in this legendary franchise. With 67% off this week and the lowest price we've seen so far, I highly recommend that you step into James Cameron's stunning alien world in Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. This is an open-world action-adventure where you play as a Na'vi warrior exploring the breathtaking landscapes of Pandora. The game blends intense combat, exploration, and deep storytelling, allowing players to fight against the RDA whilst forging connections with the environment and the creatures of Pandora. The world in this game is easily the biggest highlight, as your jaw will really drop upon entering the world for the very first time. The game does include some pretty seamless first-person combat, along with the ability to bond with creatures for aerial and land traversal. Honestly, Frontiers of Pandora offers a deep and rewarding experience, and it was quite high on my favourite games that I've played over the last 12 months. A pretty cool aspect I have to mention, which I did almost forget, is that the game's ecosystem is very dynamic, meaning your actions impact Pandora's flora and fauna, leading to an ever-evolving world. Of course, the Gold Edition, as you expect, includes the Season Pass, offering many bonus missions, expansions, and also exclusive in-game content to further immerse you in the world of Pandora. Now, college football is back. EA Sports College Football 25 brings the action of the NCAA football to next-generation consoles, delivering an authentic experience with real teams, stadiums, and a deep dynasty mode. You can build your team, recruit top talent, and relive the excitement of game days with brand new animations, stadium atmosphere enhancements, and classic rivalries. I won't lie to you, I have no idea how American football works, and I've never experienced this game before, but from reviews and having discussions with friends from over the pond, this seems like a worthy discount to include this week. From what I know, the game does actually introduce enhanced AI behaviors, playbooks that have been updated to reflect real-world college football tactics, and also player progression has also been pretty refined. I know this is the first college football game from EA in over a decade, and fans were really eagerly anticipating the return of this franchise. With 70% off, this is the lowest price point that it's ever been, so if you're a fan of college football, don't miss out on this massive discount. I actually wanted to include a couple of huge indie discounts this week of games you may have never heard of before, but have incredibly positive reviews across Xbox and other platforms. First up, and if you love visually striking indie games, Planet Alpha is an absolute must play. This is a side-scrolling platformer featuring an alien world filled with lush landscapes, breathtaking lighting effects, and mysterious creatures. You will play as a stranded explorer who must traverse dangerous environments, solve different puzzles, and manipulate time just to survive. One of the most unique aspects of Planet Alpha is its day and night cycle, which players can actually control to solve environmental puzzles and evade dangers. The platforming mechanics are very fluid, and the world continuously revolves around you, making every level feel like a living painting. Planet Alpha really is a hidden gem that deserves so much more attention. At 80% off, you can pick it up for just £1.59, an absolute steal for an artistic and immersive adventure. Then finally, for fans of city building and strategy games, Avon Colony offers a deep and rewarding experience as you construct and manage a human settlement on an alien planet. You'll need to balance resource management, deal with extraterrestrial threats, and ensure your colony survives in a harsh new environment. What really sets Avon Colony apart though, from its traditional city builder genre, is the need to adapt to an alien world. Harsh weather conditions, extraterrestrial plagues, and limited resources make survival a true challenge for you. Players must also manage morale, workforce productivity, and trade with off-world factions. The game's campaign mode really does offer a series of increasingly difficult challenges, whilst the sandbox mode actually allows for limitless creativity. Avon Colony really does deliver an engaging strategy experience that keeps you coming back for more, and it's one that I can highly recommend from my own personal experience. At 90% off, it's only £2.50, making it an absolute steal in this week's sale. So, what game are you going to grab this week? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. A big shout out to our channel members for your continued support, and if you would like to join for exclusive perks, giveaways, and so much more, then click that join button down below. Whilst here, why don't you check out my most recent video as I covered the 25 brand new Xbox and Game Pass games announced over the last week. There were tons of new games coming day one to Xbox Game Pass, and you definitely need to check them out.